He is now looking for a man they say drove a stolen car into a home near PRP. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. Police say they responded to the crash just before 4:30 earlier this evening. When officers arrived, they found a car inside a home on Arnoldtown Road near St. Andrew's Church Road. LMPD believes speed and the weather caused the driver to lose control and hit an electrical pole and then crash into the home. Police say the car was confirmed to have been stolen recently, and witnesses told them the driver fled the scene on foot and tossed something in the nearby water. LMPD's dive team canvassed the water and they were able to recover a firearm. LMPD says no one was hurt in the incident and they have a description of who they're looking for. LMPD says the driver of the car is a white man with dark hair and a ponytail. At the time of the crash, police say he was wearing a gray sweatshirt and black pants. Anyone with information related to this incident should call 911, or if you have more detailed tips, you can submit them anonymously through the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD. And into the newsroom tonight, LMPD is also investigating a violent home invasion in Valley Station last night. Police say just before midnight, they were dispatched to Ridge Lake Drive, KY 841. Officers say an 82-year-old called 911 after she says a man broke into her home through the patio door. The woman told police the man stole valuable items from her home and assaulted her. Police say the woman suffered severe injuries that required immediate hospitalization. LMPD believes these photos right here show the suspect moments before he broke into the woman's home. Police say the suspect is a man and was wearing a black jacket and black pants with a light-colored hoodie. They say these photos show the man checking door handles of other homes and garages in the neighborhood. Police also say the man was seen with a hatchet and a crowbar. LMPD is asking all residents in the area to be on the lookout, and again, if you have any information related to this incident, call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD.
You told me your dad was a pretty tough guy, right?
He is. He's a soldier.
We have an update for you tonight about the man who was shot in a Louisville Waffle House earlier this week. Family members are telling us he is now awake and was able to take a few steps after LMPD say they found him near New Year's Day with gunshot wounds, one to the back and two to the chest. We heard from Miller's daughter earlier this evening, who gave us an update as he recovers at U of L Hospital. She says all of Miller's vitals look good and hopes he'll be moved out of the ICU today or tomorrow. We spoke with Miller's son the day of the shooting, who tells us Miller and the suspect in the shooting share a history.
An ongoing thing. The guy wasn't supposed to be around any of us. My dad came up here to get some food. Dude was in there, pulled a gun out, shot my dad in the back.
According to police, 19-year-old Dominic Mack was arrested at the scene and charged with violating an emergency protective order. The judge released him from jail without bond. The investigation into the incident is ongoing. LMPD has released new details about a mental health call officers responded to that was streamed on social media.
And my friend is here. These officers are trying to break into my home, and my friend is here to take my children and me to the hospital.
Kabir Yakini was live streaming when police say a third party watching the stream called 911 out of concern for Yakini's well-being. Yakini admits she was battling a mental health crisis. A Facebook Live video shows 3 Metro Police officers with one officer holding the door open with their foot and their hand. LMPD says Yakini said to officers on scene that she was making plans to harm herself. Police say once she made those indications, police are legally bound to intervene and transport her to a facility that provides mental health services. However, Yakini and other activists say there is a better approach when responding to a mental health crisis.
I just learned that also you can ask for a yellow EMS when there is a mental health crisis. Why are we sending 911 to people's doors who are already mentally distraught?
LMPD provided a list of resources for those experiencing mental health crisis. 24/7 help is available through National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, that's 988. A house fire in the Newburgh neighborhood has left one person dead. Okolona Fire says they responded to the home just before 10:30 Friday night. 5 trucks with about 25 firefighters responded to the scene, and it took them less than 10 minutes to bring the fire under control. Okolona says one person was transported to the hospital where they were pronounced dead. Right now, fire officials are working to determine what started the fire, but they do say there was no smoke detector installed in the home. Cannabis conversations continue in Frankfurt this legislative session. It was just last year, after lengthy debates, when the Commonwealth passed legislation legalizing medical marijuana. Now, as Connor Steffen and Aspen Hester report, a new bill would look to expand on that framework for legalization.
In the first legislative session since Kentucky legalized medical marijuana use.
If we are going to have a legalization framework in Kentucky, I think we have to have at the same time these decriminalization measures as well.
Cannabis has proved to keep pace as a main focus for lawmakers like Louisville Representative Nima Kulkarni, who recently filed House Bill 72.
So I have filed legislation similar to House Bill 72 for the past several sessions.
It would look to decriminalize marijuana by exempting anyone over 21 found with an ounce or less of cannabis in their possession from civil or criminal penalty. Over at Louisville's Smoke Shop High Five.
And it is something that people worry about all the time. Even with our legal Delta products, they still worry.
While they only sell Delta 8, they speak with plenty of customers who use THC products.
As far as the possession, I know it's ruined plenty of lives just from simple possession. There was a lady I was talking to the other day. She got caught with maybe, a couple grams or something like that, and they told her either 3-month probation or a year in jail.
The bill also would allow people in the state with prior convictions related to marijuana possession to seek an expungement.
It's an equity consideration that I think somehow gets lost in the discussion of legalization. The disparate impacts of the war on drugs that has persisted for decades, of course, impacting Black and brown communities.
Less violence is my hope, actually, for real.
The balance between punishment and crime per se is just it's not right.
It's yet to be seen if there's bipartisan support for any sort of marijuana decriminalization laws. WHAS11 News has reached out to some of Louisville's Republican legislators, but haven't heard back as of yet. Though in the past, GOP state leaders like Senator Damon Thayer have voiced their opposition to any recreational or personal uses for cannabis.
I grew up in the 1980s during a very strong anti-drug culture. If you're a pot smoker and you're looking for me to help get the camel's nose under the tent so you can smoke your pot legally in Kentucky, I'm not your guy.
As a framework for legalization continues its steady descent, conversations look to keep pace and push forward. In Louisville, Connor Steffen to WHAS 1119 on your side.
Another bill filed by Louisville Senator Gerald Neal would make it illegal to not have guns safely stored. The bill would require owners to store firearms in safe storage depositories or render the firearm incapable of being fired using gun locking devices. It would also require that anyone who owns a gun or ammunition to report the loss or theft of those to law enforcement agencies. One of the main priorities for Republican legislators is passing the Safer Kentucky Act. The act, which has more than 20 policy provisions, is designed to cut down on crime in Kentucky. However, one of those provisions has some advocates accusing lawmakers of creating a crime where none existed. Part of the proposal would ban street camping throughout the Commonwealth. Under this provision, people would be guilty of unlawful camping if they enter or remain on public or private space with the intention of sleeping there, even if they're resting inside their car.
To make more criminals out of where there's not a criminal, that's not going to solve anything. You're just putting a little more court costs and a few more fines on them. That's all it's doing.
It's not criminalizing homelessness. It's trying to say, let's put together a process to help these folks.
Representative Jason Nemes, who supports the bill, says the act calls on local governments to create an area where people can camp and receive resources. But the bill doesn't lay out how officials will get funding for the outdoor spaces. It also plans to block funding for Housing First initiatives that provides permanent housing without behavioral and rehabilitative requirements.